Nuclear weapons have now become customary and recurrently appear in the arsenal of the biggest and most powerful nations on Earth. You may ask yourself, why must we be informed on this topic? There has been no real threat or attack since the U.S. dropped bombs on Japan to end World War II. However, this is a topic which must be discussed as it grows every day. I plan to bring this topic to light and inform and educate you so you are able to know and be aware of the threat that is nuclear war. The threat of nuclear war extends all across the world. Such weapons of mass destruction are able to cause damage to vast areas and nations all across the world, and the illegal and the irresponsible use of nuclear weapons by those countries which have obtained these weapons in an illegal manner could easily trigger a world war. And then the scope of the problem would surely expand across the whole world. In the event of a nuclear war, those nations most affected would be the powerful nations such as the U.S., Britain, France, and Russia. If those nations were obliterated by nuclear weapons, then not only those specific nations would suffer, but the world economy as well, leaving all world population in shambles. Radiation from the weapon would also spread across the world and affect people of all nations, leaving them sick as well as generations to come. Iran and North Korea are largely seen as the two nations with the greatest threat to all other nations. They may seemingly be regarded as enemies of the world, largely due to their complete denial of democracy and resentment toward the Western world and its ideals. Their mutual resentment of Western societies, particularly the U.S., has led to a fairly decent diplomatical relationship between the both nations. Along with this relationship have come technology and the knowledge of technology to develop nuclear weapons, and Iran has benefited from this knowledge. These nations have flexed their muscles in recent times and shown off their strength in nuclear and chemical weapons of mass destruction. This has been seen most recently in Syria in late 2013 and earlier in 2013, when North Korea threatened to launch missiles at major U.S. cities. Officially, as of today, it is known that the U.S., Russia, France, Great Britain, China, India, and Pakistan all possess nuclear weapons, and it is widely regarded that Israel is also in possession of such weapons. North Korea also possesses weapons illegally, and Iran is also regarded to be in possession of illegal nuclear weapons, although there are no official reports. They are more likely on the brink of developing their own weapons with the aid of North Korea. Their development is rapid. As of today, there are at least 16,915 available warheads on Earth. Just one is enough to cause devastating damage, but the potential damage with all available warheads is truly a horrific thought. U.S. has 7,650 weapons, Russia has 8,420, UK has 225, France has 300, China has 240, India has 80 to 100, Pakistan 90 to 100, North Korea has 10, Israel 80, and Iran is still unknown. One may argue, why worry if the U.S. have an overwhelmingly more amount of warheads than North Korea? However, North Korea is still in the process of developing more and more warheads and different technologies which we do not know about. The sense of secrecy is a threat and imminent danger. It is also well known that Russia is in friendly relationships with North Korea, and given various scenarios would be a military aid to North Korea. That would surely spell disaster for the U.S., as Russia is just as powerful nation as the U.S. and possesses even more nuclear weapons than we do. So what can we do about this threat of nuclear weapons as it grows more and more every year with the development of technology? Currently, most nations find themselves in a situation where they must defend themselves, and presently most nations believe that the best form of defense is a type of containment. They believe that as long as nations such as Iran and North Korea possess these weapons illegally, it is okay as long as they don't use them in an offensive manner. They are looking to turn the other cheek and not irritate these nations. Then there are others who feel that the best form of defense is offense. Some believe that the U.S. must take an offensive standpoint in this situation and show off our power as the most powerful nation on Earth. There are those who call for military action, which may include the bombing of these nations and invasion to disarm the nations of their weapons. This would most certainly trigger some type of war, and I personally do not believe it to be the smartest decision. As a developing nation, we must seek to protect our citizens. My proposal is not to disarm or fight against these nations, but protect ourselves. Our effort must not be wasted in using offensive point of views to rid of their arms, but to think in a defensive stance and use our time, effort, and knowledge to figure out better ways to protect citizens. because no matter how hard we try in the end, if such nations choose to have these weapons, they will find a way, and we will not be able to stop them. That is why in our best interest is to develop systems of defense. President Reagan had already proposed a system and program specified to defend against nuclear missiles. Originally called the Strategic Defense Initiative Program, or Star Wars as regarded by the public, it was a system and program developed at a time when more nations were developing nuclear weapons. However, the program became disbanded in 1993. The U.S. must build on such programs and develop their ideas with today's technology, and the development of technology has provided us with new horizons and new heights to reach. Simple ideas are satellites which would be able to detect oncoming missiles, as well as satellites with the ability to shoot at missiles, as well as flying aircrafts to track down and destroy such missiles. At home, major U.S. cities may have the potential to, in the future, develop a complex and effective system of evacuation in case of a nuclear threat. For the ambitious few, the possibility of major U.S. cities each having their own type of underground system or bunker is certainly not outside of the realm of reality. With the technology which is available to us today, there must be greater initiatives to find effective ways of defense against nuclear weapons.